Welcome guys to another Battle City deck profile. Today we are showcasing the Yami Marik Battle City profile coming up. Okay guys, let's get straight into the Yami Marik Battle City profile. Of course we'll start off with the Wing Dragon of Ra. So the Wing Dragon of Ra has two effects. You can pay life points so that you only have 100 left. This card gains attack and defense equal to the amount of life points paid. Second effect is you can pay 1,000 life points and target one monster on the field, destroy that target. So it's a very good card in terms of getting its attack and defense if you want to use that option. Or you can go with the option of just destroying monsters on the field. Pretty awesome card. Next up in the profile, we run one copy of the Winged Dragon of Ra Spear Mode. So Spear Mode was used in the duel between Marik and Mai. Mai managed to get this card onto the field, and then Marik recited the chant and managed to unlock Ra from this particular form. So this card requires 3 tributes from either side of the field. Normal summon that monster to the side of the field that you've tributed from. Then this card goes to the card owner's side at the end phase of the next turn. So this card cannot attack. Your opponent cannot target this card for attacks by card effects. The biggie though, you can tribute this card, special summon the Winged Dragon of Ra from your hand or deck, ignoring its summoning conditions, and if you do, its attack and defense becomes 4,000. So that's a very good Winged Dragon of Ra in terms of attack and defense, and you can use that second effect quite effectively from Spear Mode. Of course we have to run the other form of Ra in the Marik profile, so I run one copy of the Winged Dragon of Ra Immortal Phoenix. So the Immortal Phoenix must be special summoned by its own effect, and it cannot be special summoned by any other way. If the Winged Dragon of Ra is sent from the field or your graveyard, while this card is in your graveyard, special summon this card. Cards and effects cannot be activated in response to this effect's activation. But the big effect, just a wee bit further down, reads you can pay 1,000 life points, send one monster to the field to the graveyard. Once per turn during the end phase, send this card to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon one Winged Dragon of Ra Spear Mode from your hand, deck, or graveyard, ignoring its summoning conditions. So very useful option to getting Spear Mode back and then stalling and getting better options out onto the field. Rightio guys, let's move on to the other monsters in Marik's deck now. So we run one copy of Halpimer. So Halpimer has 2,000 attack, 1,400 defense. So this card is very useful if you get on the field and gets destroyed by battle, because after every opponent battle phase after that, you discard one random card from your opponent's hand. This card must be in the graveyard to activate and to resolve this effect. So really cool card. Next up, we run one copy of Lava Golem. So Lava Golem was used in the Marik and Joey duel. So you can summon this card by tributing 2 of your opponent's monsters, putting on their side of the field, and they take 1,000 damage for each of their standby phases. So very good burn card, and if you've got very good traps, you can kind of defend yourself against this as well. Next up, we run one copy of the Legendary Fiend. So the Legendary Fiend is during each of your standby phases, this card gains 700 attack, so it can build up to be a powerful monster very quickly. To round out the strong monsters guys in this deck, we run one copy of the Mars Beast Gradius. So it requires 2 tributes. One of them has to be the Grand Tikiata or Malkith the 4-Faced Beast. When this card is sent to the field to the graveyard, you equip one Master Remnants from your deck to one monster on the field. Marik runs one copy of Drawago. So Drawago has 1,600 attack, 1,100 defense. Really useful effect too. If the opponent controls monsters with 1,600 or more attack, all of them have to be, this monster can attack the opponent directly. One copy of Juragido. So Juragido has 1,700 attack, 1,300 defense. Really cool effect too. So during either player's battle step, you can special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, gain 1,000 life points. Can only use that effect once per turn. Once per turn, during either player's turn, you contribute this card, then target one face-up monster you control. It gains 1,000 attack to the end of the next turn. So that's a really amazing card. So Marik has a lot of 4-star monsters. For example, you can power one of them up by 1,000, potentially set up into another play. Or you can go on the offensive and get rid of a strong monster if you're in a character deck duel against someone, and manage to probably destroy whatever monster is you're up against. Next up, run one copy of Gilgarth. So Gilgarth is 1800 attack, 1200 defense. Very, very good 4-star monster. Run one copy of Lord Poison. So Lord Poison was used in the duel between Marik, Kaiba, Joey, and Yugi, and that was the duel that decided who played who in the Battle City semi-finals. Not a very useful effect in Marik's profile, but it's got 1500 attack, 1000 defense. Next up, we run one copy of Malkid, the 4-face beast. So it's got 1500 attack, 1200 defense, and of course, you need this card to get Mars Beast Disgradius out, because it's needed for one of the tributes to get that card out. Next up, I run one copy of Boganian. So Boganian has 1300 attack, 1000 defense. During each of your standby phases, inflict 600 damage to your opponent. Next up, we run one copy of Dark Geoid. Dark Geoid's quite a useful card. When this card is summoned, select one face-up monster on the field. It loses 800 attack. Next up, I run one copy of Holding Arms. So Holding Arms has got 500 attack, 1200 defense. Really good effect too. So the card effect reads, if this card is normal or special summon, target one face-up monster your opponent controls. While this card is face-up on the field, that face-up monster cannot attack and its effects are negated. While that face-up monster is on the field, this card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. So Holding Arms is really, really cool and useful. And the backup Holding Arms is Holding Legs. Both Holding Arms and Holding Legs were used in the Mai and Marik duel. So Holding Legs is if this card is summoned, return all set spell and trap cards on the field to the hand. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one set spell / trap card your opponent controls. That set card cannot be activated until the end of the opponent's next turn. We run one copy of Makura, the Destructor. 1600 attack, 1200 defense. During the turn this card is sent to the graveyard, you can activate trap cards from your hand. So this card is banned for a reason. It's so destructive in real life, and it would be destructive in a character deck duel as well, but amazing card. Next up, I run one copy of Nidoria. So Nidoria is 1200 attack, 800 defense. When this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, select one monster on the field and destroy it. We run one copy of Visor Des. So Visor Des is named something else in the manga. I just can't remember what. But it's got 500 attack, 1200 defense. So when this card is normal summoned, select one monster your opponent controls. Destroy that monster during your third standby phase. After the summon, this card cannot be destroyed by battle till the effect is resolved. But it's got a downside. For those that have played games when this is summoned, for one turn it's in attack mode. You can just attack it directly 3 times. It doesn't get destroyed and your opponent loses a lot of life points. So it's a really situational card, so I suggest having something to back up Visor Des. To round off the monsters, of course, we could not forget the one copy of Revival Jam. 1500 attack, 500 defense. So when this card is sent to the graveyard as a result of battle, you can special summon this card and face up defense position at your next standby phase by paying 1000 life points. So very, very useful card, and very, very much good to go into other plays later on in the duel. Moving on to the spell cards of Yami Marik's Battle City profile. Start off with Bait Doll. So Bait Doll forces the activation of one face down trap card. If the timing of the activation is incorrect, negate the effect and destroy it. If it's not a trap card, it is returned to the original position. So it's very good to destroy the trap card, well, just to see what your opponent's got face down in general. Next up, I run one copy of the Black Pendant. So your opponent your equipped monster gains 500 attack. When this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, inflict 500 damage to your opponent. Next up, we run one copy of Card of Sanctity. So banish all other cards you control and in your hand, and draw until you have 2 cards in your hand. So it's a very useful card. Of course, in the anime, it's got a really broken effect. I think you draw up to 6 cards. Next up, we run one copy of the Jam Breeding Machine. So during each of your standby phases, special summon one slime token, 500 attack, 500 defense, in attack position to your side of the field. The only downside is, as long as this card's on the field, you can't summon anything else. So it pretty much gives your opponent a target each turn to attack. It was used pretty effectively in the anime Jam Breeding Machine, and that is why it's in Marik's deck here. Next up, one copy of Monster Reborn. We run one copy of Pot of Greed. We run one copy of Premature Burial. So that's pretty much pay 800 life points and target one monster in your graveyard, special summon that target in face up attack position and equip it with this card. We run one copy of Remove Trap. We run one copy of Spell of Pain. So Spell of Pain's a pretty cool card. So activate only when the effect is activated that would inflict effect damage. To you, switch the effect damage to your opponent's life points instead. We run one copy of the Master Remnants. So shuffle this card into its owner's deck, or if this card was put into play by the effect of Master Beast Death's Gradius, this card is treated as an equipped card. Control of the equipped monster is switched. So you can get a strong monster onto your side of the field with this Master Remnants card. We run one copy of Tribute Burial. So you cannot special summon for the rest of this turn. Once during this turn, you can conduct a tribute summon that requires 2 tributes by banishing one monster from each graveyard instead of tributing. So this is a pretty amazing card. This is effectively going to get your Winged Dragon of Ra out a lot quicker, or even other plays that Marik has. Really good card in general, Tribute Burial. Next up, I run one copy of the Vengeful Bog Spirit. So pretty much this card, what it does is stops your either side attacking when an opponent is normal summon on the field that particular turn. To round off the spells, guys, we run one copy of, as soon as I get in the screen, the Left Arm Offering. So if you have 2 or more other cards in your hand, banish your entire hand, add 1 spell card from your deck to your hand. So that's a really cool effect. You cannot set spell trick cards during the turn you activate this card, but still a really good effect. You can get some really good useful plays from our Left Arm Offering. Radio guys, moving on to the trap cards of this Battle City profile, we run one copy of the Coffin Seller. So each time a monster card is sent to your opponent's graveyard, inflict 300 damage to your opponent. So a really useful card. Marik's got a lot of nasty burn cards in his deck. Next up, we run one copy of Hidden Soldiers. So Hidden Soldiers is really a cool card to use as well. When your opponent normal will flip summons a monster, special summon 1 level 4 or lower dark monster from your hand. So Marik's got an array of dark monsters, and say for example the opponent plays a monster, Gilgarth, for example, 1800 attack will be on the field. And that is going to help you go into certain plays as well with Marik's character deck profile. Now I'd run this card with Jam Breeding Machine and Revival Jam on the field, and that is Jam Defender, so this will protect your slime token, so pretty much your opponent has to attack Revival Jam first. This card is a brilliant card, I like this card, and that is Malevolent Catastrophe. So Malevolent Catastrophe is when the opponent declares an attack, destroy all spell and trap cards on the field. So make sure you have nothing face down and just blow up everything on the opponent's side of the field. Next up is a very useful trap monster and a good stall option, and that is Metal Reflect Slime. So Metal Reflect Slime has 0 attack, 3000 defense, and pretty much you can tribute this card for, say, the Legendary Fiend, Halpermer, just for example, or it could be used to get other plays like possibly your Winged Dragon of Ra out. So fantastic card there. Next up we run one copy of the Nightmare Wheel. So Nightmare Wheel, you target one of your opponent's monsters, it cannot attack or change its battle position. When this monster leaves the field, destroy this card. During each of your standby phases, when that monster is on the field, inflict 500 damage to your opponent. So that's more burn damage. And I believe this was used in the duel, I think between Marik and Mai. I'll have to rewatch Battle City again. I've been referring to a lot of duels. I'm not 100% sure if those cards are played in certain duels. But we run one copy of Mirror Force. That destroys all monsters in attack position. Now we're going to the side deck, guys. Now I've got some interesting choices in the side deck. We've only got a few cards in here. We run one copy of Carter Last Will. Obviously you cannot play this in a duel because of how broken it is. So if the attack of a monster you control becomes 0 by a card effect, just draw until you have 5 cards in your hand. So there's so many ways of turning a card to 0 in the TCG for real life, for example, and this is why you can't play this card in real life. Next up we've got the card Rope of Life. So Rope of Life is when one of your monsters is sent to the graveyard by battle, discard your entire hand to special summon that monster, it gains 800 attack. So that could be worth it, say for example if you say lose something like the Legendary Fiend, play Rope of Life, bring it back on the field, and of course you get that standby bonus of 700 attack points. To round off the side deck, guys, we run one copy of Machine Duplication. It pretty much you target one machine type monster you control with 500 or less attack, special summon up to 2 monsters from your deck with the same name as that monster. So it's not very viable in my opinion in Marik's main deck because he's got really no machine monsters that he can use this on. But he does use it, so it is in his side deck. Now just to quickly go and find my favourite card. I like the artwork of this card, so I can't look past the Winged Dragon of Ra, Immortal Phoenix. And that brings a wrap to our Marik Battle City profile. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Smash the like button. Of course, check out our other character deck profiles that are in a playlist. We're really getting through Battle City now. We've got probably another profile coming up in the next couple of weeks, but for now we'll catch you later and we'll see you next time.